Hello and welcome to the weather update. It is a little before 9 o'clock on the 23rd of January, and cloudy day, a lot of clouds around, some sun and high clouds from time to time, and then the sunset, which definitely looked like, hey, that sunset, you know what that sunset says, right? That we could see some snow on the way, and that's exactly what's going on. We're seeing some light snow across our area, some of these clouds, too, stretching across the sky, some altocumulus clouds. But yep, we've got some snow on the radar right now. Let's take a look at this. We got some light snow. It's just gonna dust the ground. It's not very heavy, but it could make things a little slippery. You can see here on the radar some light snow here, just from a little disturbance moving through the area tonight. And it's not really going to amount to very much. This is a satellite image. You can see all the clouds that are over our area right now. Boy, it would be nice if we were up here. Look at that. If you were in Canada right now, Montreal, Toronto, you'd be having crystal clear skies. But no, that's not what we're going to be getting for the next couple of days. So let's take a look at see what's going on with our current conditions right now. And we're around that freezing degree mark. A little warmer today than it was yesterday. We'll go over the highs and the lows and the temperatures for the past couple of, because I didn't do a weather update yesterday. I just needed a break. I can't do one every day like I used to, with everything going on. So let's take a look and see what ice slip was the past 48 hours or so. So you can see that for ice slip yesterday, the 22nd, we did make it up to 31 degrees. You can see some of the clouds around here being reported yesterday. And then tonight, today we got up to 36 degrees at ice slip. So you can see that light snow being reported right there. And you can see the winds have become more west to southwesterly today. Now they're just very light and variable. So we'll look at some other stations. We'll just see. Well, that's enough. We'll just look at that station as far as what the past 48 hours is like, because that's the official Long Island station. And now we'll go over our highs and lows for the day. So let's go to the highs for today, and you can see we got into the mid-30s, so close to average today. Today was close to normal after being below normal for a couple of days, and we did get above freezing for a little bit today. Even a little warmer in Jersey. I see some 40s there around Toms River, 41. Now let's look at our low temperatures this morning and see how the radiational cooling situation was. Yeah, they got some all right at West Hampton. Got down to 7 degrees at West Hampton. Shirley got down to 16. Islip got down to 18. So we had some teens in single digits in the Pine Barrens, teens elsewhere. And then the closer you get to the city, it was more like around 20 in Nassau County, and in the city, we were in the mid-20s for lows. Let's see if they got any of that radiational cooling in New Jersey last night. And they did a little bit. They did. 12 at Lakehurst, 10 at Miller Air Park, and 11 at Bass River State Forest, and 9 for a low in Tabernacle, which is, of course, a very famous place in the New Jersey Pine Barrens. So let's take a look and see what we got going on with the models now, as we take a look and see what the models are going to guess for what we're going to be getting for the next 7 to 10 days here. Obviously, it's fairly simple right now, nothing too complicated. This moves away. We get into some fair weather tomorrow. Next clipper comes through on Tuesday, bringing us another chance of precipitation, possibly rain, and then possibly snow. And then a cold front comes through, and we get another cold high building in for Wednesday. There it is, building across the east. And this is going to bring another blast of Arctic air into our area Wednesday into Thursday. And then we've got to watch. This is the storm we've got to watch now. It's been trending more and more offshore again. This is the Saturday storm. Just like the last time, it's been trending more and more offshore, and looks to take a similar track to the one that we saw last time. All right? So this would keep us, again, avoiding any major snowstorm and then another cold blast as we get into February. So we just continue to avoid the major snowfalls. At least this is what the GFS has to say for that storm track here. And it's just because of the way the jet stream is. If we go to the jet stream here, you will see here the jet stream. And again, we just have a very flat troughs coming through. So you can see this is Tuesday here. It's just the 25th. It looks like, something might get going there, but no. They stay separate. And then for Wednesday, you can see the jet stream just stays suppressed, and it's kind of just flat. There's the trough, but you can see that where that part of the trough is where the storm would form is offshore. And as we go into the rest of the month, you can sort of see some ridging start to try to develop as we get into February, which could lead to warmer weather. Now, if we look at the temperature anomaly chart, as we go into tomorrow, you will see here we'll be slightly below normal tomorrow, fairly close to normal. Then we go above normal on Tuesday, but then here comes that bitterly cold Arctic air again for Wednesday and Thursday that we're going to be dealing with. And then a little bit of a break on Friday, and then another one for Saturday behind that storm system. And then we warm up again to start February, and then it looks like, another plunge, though, set for to begin February. But then after that, maybe we start seeing some moderation and some warmer weather toward the past couple of frames there. But right now, we're staying below normal. But we're not seeing all that much snow. If we look at the total snowfall map and we put it all the way out, you'll see there's just not a lot. You can see we're kind of in the, just to our north, it looks like it's putting down some snow, but not a whole lot over our area. And that is what the GFS long-range outlook looks like. But let's look at a couple of other temperatures here. I mean, a couple of other models, and see how they handle that storm, like the Icon, for instance. Now, the Icon doesn't go as far enough out. You can see there's that clipper coming through. Big high builds in. And then here this is as far as the Icon would go for your Friday there. There's the coastal storm, but it doesn't look like it's in a favorable position for us. It looks pretty suppressed to the south. What about the Canadian? Canadian looks a little closer to us now. All right, so if we look at the Canadian still hits us with a pretty significant, look at how deep. Of course, this is the Canadian, right? This is just the Canadian model, all right? But that right there, if you want a big storm, that would be a really big blizzard right there, all right? That's the Canadian right there. So, if we, this would be one hell of a storm, that's for sure. Look at the Canadian beside. This would be a pretty bona fide blizzard with strong winds, heavy snow, maybe thunder snow, and lots of snow. So if we were to look at this and say, all right, if we get hit by this, you'd be getting at least a foot of snow. Look at that. You want fantasies. Look at that. That's over 2 feet of snow there in Suffolk County. All right. This is just the Canadian, all right? Being the Canadian, all right? So don't get your hopes up. It's just the Canadian. It's almost never right in the long range. But still, it's quite interesting to see that Canadian there. It's unfortunate the Icon doesn't go out any further than, let's see, 12Z. I think the 12Z run goes out a little more. So let's see what the 12Z has. Yeah, it has it staying well offshore, but then kind of bombing out and then kind of going to Maine there. And that would be but this is the Icon again. I mean, its track record isn't the greatest, all right? Let's be honest here, all right? We'll look at the Euro later, all right? But that's sort of like what the models have as far as that storm, because that's our next chance of significant precipitation. We're in kind of a dry spell again. So let's go to the HRRR and look at the HRRR. And again, this is what we're dealing with tonight. This a little bit of that light snow right there, barely anything, coat the ground. Then it's dry tomorrow, and then we have a next chance of light precipitation early on Tuesday, and then that's kind of it. But all in all, it's not a lot of precipitation, because if we look at the total accumulated precipitation, it's barely anything. So we're staying very dry again. Very little precipitation falling. So I can look at the NAM 12 as well. This is the NAM 12 for out, and this is the NAM 12, and you can see it's just not giving us a lot. It's very dry pattern that we are in right now. All right, so let me go back to the HRRR model, and we'll go to look at the temperatures to give you an idea of what's going to be happening. So tonight, we're probably going to be dropping into the 20s, and then tomorrow, similar temperatures to today, probably mid-30s for highs. Maybe a slight bit cooler because we're going to have more of a north wind tomorrow. You'll see when I look at the wind profile. But either way, warmer ahead of the cold front, warmer air comes into the area on Tuesday. We go into above 40 degrees. for Tuesday. So we'll be above normal on Tuesday, but then you see what happens here with the cold air coming back into the picture. Now, let's go to the NAM. Not the NAM, but the dew point flow. So again, this kind of shows you that we have a westerly flow, and then it kind of becomes northwesterly tomorrow. Light northwesterly flow, not too windy. But then as we get into Tuesday, see we go into the south to southwesterly flow, brings up the warmer air. But then we're back into the northwesterly flow as we get into Wednesday. All right, and if we go into the GFS here, you will see there that really cold air is going to come into the area. Really cold, dry air, dew points around 0, northwest winds, sort of breezy conditions. And you can see those. We stay in that northerly component, and then by Thursday, maybe later in the afternoon, we start seeing that southwesterly component, and then that storm passing by, and will bring down more cold air as we get into Saturday. You can see more of that north flow coming in again, and northwest flow right there. All right, so if we look at the temperatures, here, you'll see here Wednesday, our highs are probably only going to be in the mid-20s. And then for Thursday, similar deal, mid-20s. For Friday, we go back to the mid-30s, but then with that storm passing offshore right now, that's what it looks like. According to the GFS, we drop back down into the mid-20s, and we have more cold air again, so pretty much below freezing, 20s during the day, teens at night, and maybe single digits possible too, if there's radiational cooling. So we're gonna be in the cold air, though. It's not record-breaking cold air. It's cold air, and it's gonna be persisting over our area. So now let's see if we can get some clear skies around here. Obviously, looking at the GFS, this is a lower resolution cloud forecast. So let's go to the RGEM cloud forecast first. All right, this is the RGEM cloud forecast, which starts off with some clouds, but then actually breaks the clouds up, and we have some clearer skies by the afternoon. We'll have to see if that actually happens or not, or it's being overly optimistic. But either way, more high clouds roll in tomorrow night. We have those high clouds around for part of Tuesday, but then a little bit of a break. And then as we go into Wednesday, you will see we should have some clear skies. However, we'll have to watch for that instability cloudiness. It seems like it's developing a plume over Long Island, but if it could be clear over New Jersey for that. All right. And then we can look at another model for the clouds, the AM3, which we're not using the 0Z. It's not in yet. Here's the AM3 for tomorrow. A little more pessimistic with the cloud cover, and it keeps us kind of socked in the clouds tomorrow. And then for Tuesday, we're pretty much socked in with clouds, but maybe by the afternoon we'll see some more sun. And then that's as far as that goes. Now, if I want to go beyond that, then I got to go to the GFS, which is a lower resolution model. But it sort of gives you the idea that we should have more sense. The next chance for a clear day is probably going to be Wednesday with that Arctic air, and then Thursday as well, perhaps, for the cirrus might roll in later on in the day. But then you could see clouds for Friday, that storm offshore, and then Saturday. Saturday may be very similar to this past Saturday we had. So we'll have to see. It might clear out later in the afternoon. We'll have to see what happens. And then Sunday would be clear again, January 30th. So we have some sunny days up ahead. It's just going to stay below normal. Cold and dry, which is kind of the way I like it, but the lack of snow is, it's really cold and dry is nice, but this is a little too extreme here. Snowfall is kind of important for our water, and I don't think we've seen that much precipitation this month at all so far this January. In fact, let's go to the climate statistics here. And we'll take a look at how much rain has fallen at Islip. Let's take a look at that. So let's go to this daily climate report for Islip. So this will tell us how much rain we've had this month. Oh, month to date, 4.03. That's not too bad. All right, I guess we're actually above normal, probably because of all that rain we had. Okay. We're below normal with snowfall, though. That's the key. Snowfall. Nothing. Oh, no. We had 6.9. So we're actually within norms, 7.1. So we are within norms. Oddly enough, we are within norms. So this is definitely a cold and dry spell that we're in, that's all. But because of that one fairly sizable storm we had, kind of got us to the average. But, yeah, that's what it looks like at Islip right now. So this is Iceland. I'm looking at Iceland. Okay, so let's go to the windy.com model, and this would be the European model now. All right, so this is the European model. We'll actually move this over to the clouds. All right, so this kind of shows storms and everything here. So and you can see here that tomorrow, we'll have to see what happens with tomorrow. I'm not too hopeful having a clear day tomorrow. Maybe it's Tuesday, we'll have a little sunshine. Wednesday would be more likely the day we would see some sunshine with some nice skies, and maybe Tuesday as well. I mean maybe Thursday as well. Now let's see what it's going to do with this storm here offshore. I'm kind of curious. So this is the European model here. There's the storm taking shape off the Carolinas. This is Friday night. Yeah, it keeps it offshore. It looks like an offshore track to me. Yep, that is definitely an offshore track. So right now, it looks like we will see another miss for our area with this snow event for the end of the week. And after that, we're just going to remain in kind of a cold and dry pattern. Let's see if the European shows anything up here. There's nothing. So the only model that has us really getting anything would be the Canadian, and we all know that model is, that's a fantasy. It will spin up anything. That's just the way it works. It has a tendency to be very aggressive with those kind of things, and it's not a model you can really trust in the long range. It is good for short range sky cover. That's why I like to use it for the short range sky cover, but that's about it. Anything beyond 48 hours, it's kind of highly inaccurate. But I think that's going to wrap up this weather update. So take care, and thank you for watching.